Have you ever felt that unsettling quiet before the storm? That moment when you know everything is about to change? For Mark, that storm was brewing right in his own home, and he was about to unleash it in the most unexpected way possible. Mark and Sarah were the picture-perfect couple, or so it seemed. They had met in college, shared dreams, and built a life together over a decade. From the outside, they had it all: a cozy home in the suburbs, two beautiful kids, and a love story that everyone envied. But behind the closed doors of their perfect life, a deep crack was forming, one that would soon shatter everything. It started subtly. Sarah began working late more often. Her phone, which used to be left casually on the kitchen counter, was now always glued to her hand or flipped face down. When Mark asked about her day, her answers became vague, peppered with details that didn't quite add up. He'd notice her smiling at her phone, a private, secretive smile that wasn't for him. At first he dismissed it. "She's just stressed from work," he told himself, trying to quiet the growing unease in his gut. But the signs became too loud to ignore. There was the time he found a receipt for a fancy dinner for two from a night. She claimed she was eating a sad desk salad at the office. Then the scent of a men's cologne, one he didn't own, clinging to her coat. Each discovery was a small cut, bleeding his trust drop by drop. The man he once was, confident and secure, was replaced by someone haunted by suspicion, replaying conversations and searching for clues. He could have confronted her. He could have screamed and thrown accusations. But Mark knew that would just lead to more lies, more denials, and a messy, drawn-out fight. He wanted the truth, but he also wanted justice. Not a loud, chaotic justice, but a quiet, undeniable one. An idea began to form in his mind. A plan so precise and devastating that it would expose everything without him having to utter a single accusatory word. He decided to wait, to gather his evidence, and to choose the perfect moment. The opportunity presented itself in the form of Sarah's 35th birthday. She wanted a huge party, a grand celebration with all their friends and family. "Let's show everyone how amazing our life is," she'd said with a bright, fake smile. Mark agreed instantly. It was the perfect stage. He threw himself into the party planning, booking her favorite restaurant's private room, sending out dozens of invitations, and ordering a massive, beautiful cake. To Sarah, it looked like the ultimate romantic gesture from a doting husband. She was thrilled, completely oblivious that she was helping to set the stage for her own downfall. As he planned, Mark continued his silent investigation. He installed a small, discreet recording device in her car. The audio it captured was heartbreaking. It wasn't just flirtatious chats. It was conversations filled with "I love yous" and promises of a future together with another man, a colleague from her office named Alex. They spoke about Mark with pity and annoyance, as an obstacle to be managed. Hearing the woman he loved talk about him that way was like a physical blow. But with each painful recording, his resolve hardened. He saved the audio files, labeling them meticulously. He also recovered deleted text messages, a digital trail of their secret rendezvous and stolen moments. He had everything he needed. The night of the party arrived. The restaurant was buzzing with laughter and conversation. Friends and family from both sides had gathered, raising their glasses to Sarah, who was glowing in a new dress, basking in the attention. Mark played the part of the devoted husband perfectly, smiling, mingling, and making sure everyone's glass was full. He caught Sarah's eye across the room. She gave him a radiant smile, a smile that now looked to him like a mask. After the main course, it was time for toasts. Sarah's father stood up first, giving a heartfelt speech about his wonderful daughter and his fine son-in-law, Mark. Friends shared funny anecdotes. Everyone was happy, the atmosphere thick with celebration. Then it was Mark's turn. He stood up, and a hush fell over the room. He tapped his glass for attention, a calm, steady smile on his face. Thank you all for coming to celebrate my incredible wife, Sarah, he began, his voice even. For her 35th birthday, I wanted to do something extra special. We've all shared so many memories over the years, and I thought it would be wonderful to take a little trip down memory lane. He gestured toward a large projector screen he had set up at the front of the room. I've put together a little slideshow of our life together, the moments that made us who we are. Sarah beamed, squeezing his hand under the table, whispering, "Oh, Mark, you're so sweet." The slideshow started. The first few photos were exactly what everyone expected. Their wedding day, the birth of their children, family vacations. Soft, sentimental music played in the background. Guests awed and smiled. Mark narrated a few of the photos, his voice filled with nostalgia. Here we are on our honeymoon, and this was the day we brought our first child home. Then, about 5 minutes in, the music suddenly stopped. The screen went black for a second. An uncomfortable silence filled the room. A new image appeared on the screen. It wasn't a family photo. It was a screenshot of a text message, blown up for everyone to see. It was from Sarah to Alex, reading, "Can't wait to get away from him this weekend. Just you and me." A collective gasp went through the room. Before anyone could process it, the screen changed again. Another text, "He has no idea. It's almost too easy." The screen was then filled with a picture of a dinner receipt from the fancy restaurant, dated on a night Sarah was supposedly working late. Sarah's face went white. She stared at the screen in horror, then looked at Mark, her eyes wide with panic. He didn't look at her. He just stood there, his expression unreadable, staring straight ahead at the screen. Then, the audio started. The speakers, which had just been playing soft music, now filled the room with Sarah's voice, clear as day, from the car recording. "I love you, Alex," her voice echoed through the silent restaurant. "Mark is just a complication. We'll be together soon, I promise." Then Alex's voice, "Just be patient, baby. He'll never find out." The audio clip was short, only 30 seconds, but it felt like an eternity. The room was deathly quiet. You could hear a pin drop. No one knew where to look. Sarah's parents stared at the floor, their faces a mixture of shame and disbelief. Sarah's friends looked at her with pity and shock. When the audio ended, the screen went black again. Mark still hadn't said a word. He calmly picked up his glass of water, took a slow sip, and then placed it back on the table. He finally turned his head and looked directly at Sarah, his eyes cold and empty. He didn't need to shout. He didn't need to cry or point a finger. The silence was his statement. The evidence on the screen was his accusation. The shocked faces of their loved ones were the jury and the verdict all in one. He had exposed her lies completely without saying a single word of his own. He then turned to the stunned guests. "Thank you all for coming," he said, his voice quiet but firm. "Please, enjoy the cake." And with that, he walked out of the restaurant, leaving behind the ruins of his marriage and a party that would be remembered for all the wrong reasons. He walked into the cool night air, not as a victim, but as a man who had taken back control of his own story, on his own terms. Sometimes, the most powerful statements are the ones that are never spoken. The truth has a way of being its own voice. Thanks for watching. If you have a story about a moment of quiet strength, share it in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories. We'll see you next time.